In a rivalry match between two of the best arms in baseball, Jacob deGrom said, "Hey, I'm still the very best in the game."
You are Locked On Rangers, your daily Texas Rangers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are locked onto the Texas Rangers, the first and best daily Rangers podcast. I'm Bryce Patrick, a cripplingly addicted Texas Rangers fan, covering this team for 12 seasons, including all 7 as the founder and host of this podcast. Thank you all so much for making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. If you're not already, you can follow me on Twitter at Bryce Patrick. You can follow the show at Locked On Rangers. Hit subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and on YouTube, where the best way you can help grow the show is comment nearly any single thing below. Now, on today's show, we're talking about that gorgeous pitchers duel, a 1-0 win for the Texas Rangers, the longest winning streak of the season. Jake Burger's oppo shot, some great defense, and a little bit about rivalries in general. Before we get into all of that, today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Now, the Rangers won 1-0 in the very first start of his career against the Houston Astros. Jacob deGrom was on the bump. Five hits allowed in 8 shutout innings, 7 strikeouts, just 1 walk, and he was masterful. This is why you go and get Jacob freaking deGrom. This felt like a playoff game. This was a matchup between two of the best starters in all of baseball. Hunter Brown get one of the hardest lines, a complete game loss, allowing just 1 run in 8 innings because, well, the home team didn't hit in the 9th inning because the home team won 1-0 off of a solo shot by Jake Burger. We'll talk more about this offense and why that oppo taco from the Burger Boy is kind of a good sign of things to come in a trend with this offense under Brett Boone. But Jacob deGrom was the story in this one. 8 shutout innings, the longest start of his Texas Rangers tenure, the longest start he has had since 2021 when he pitched the game of his life. I recommend, if you like watching Jacob deGrom at his best, go back and look at this start from 2021. It was on Jackie Robinson Day. 9 shutout innings, a complete game shutout, 15 strikeouts to just 2 hits against the Washington Nationals. And he also had an RBI double in that game because pitchers could still hit back then. That's how long it's been since Jacob deGrom was going 8+ innings in an outing. Maybe he could have gone out there for the 9th, maybe, but at 96 pitches with the Rangers bullpen fresh enough. Luke Jackson was down for the day. Chris Martin was down for the day. Chris Martin is going to avoid an IL stint for that little pop that he heard in his elbow. Thank the Lord. I was terrified that was going to be Tommy John surgery and Chris Martin was going to be done for the year. Nope, that's not going to be the case. He is not going to even need an IL stint, but he was not available for this game, nor was Luke Jackson, who took a line drive off of his pitching hand earlier on in the week against the Colorado Rockies. And so on comes Sean Armstrong for his 2nd save of the season, a near perfect inning of work, no strikeouts, just 3 weakly hit balls and a walk. Only the 7th base runner that the Astros had all night because they could not do anything against Jacob deGrom. You look at the pitch mix, you look at the velocity, you look at everything from this game. This was a pitching masterclass by both teams. Hunter Brown was incredible in this game, truly sensational in this game. I mean, his line was exceptional. He only allowed 3 hits, one of them an extra base hit to Adolis Garcia, a double where he was stranded after a leadoff double, the hardest hit ball of the night by either team, 112 miles an hour off the bat of Adolis Garcia. But Brown was sensational. He was just about matching deGrom pitch for pitch, except for one mistake that Jake Burger took over the fence. Heck, you could even say, maybe, if you value strikeouts more than you do runs allowed, that Hunter Brown had a better game than Jacob deGrom. I'm not sure that I would hear that necessarily. Maybe the Rangers defense helped save Jacob deGrom a little bit more than Hunter Brown's defense helped save him. But Brown only allowed 3 hits to Jacob deGrom's 5 hits. He didn't allow a walk, and Jacob deGrom allowed 1 walk. He struck out 9 versus deGrom striking out 7. But the only thing that matters at the end of the day is the scoreboard. 1 run allowed by Hunter Brown, 0 runs allowed by the Texas Rangers. This was just a glorious bit of pitching from Jacob deGrom where he was just at the peak of his power. You go and you look at the pitch mix, and it is the classic great Jacob deGrom game. He throws 96 pitches. Can you guess how many of them weren't fastballs or sliders? Get the over-under at 7.5. You go an over or under? It's under. It was 6 pitches on the night. So he threw 90 pitches that were his four-seam fastball or his slider. 50 of them were his slider. 40 of them were his four-seam fastball, 5 changeups, and 1 curveball, just for good measure. 10 whiffs on the slider, 5 on the four-seam fastball, 10 called strikes on the four-seam fastball. He was just living, painting on the corners of the zone. With an uptick in velocity, his velo was definitely up tonight. He's been averaging 97 on the year, and tonight he was averaging 97.9 miles per hour. The hardest pitch of the night for him was 99.2 miles per hour. That's him opening up and letting it eat, especially going out there for an 8th inning when the Rangers pen was just a little bit short-staffed. They did get some help today or last night with Cole Winn being called up, Caleb Bosley being sent back down to the minor leagues, not because Caleb Bosley hasn't been great, but more to get another fresh arm for this pen. I did talk about Cole Winn. I'm a little surprised the Rangers made this move to bring Cole Winn up. I'll talk more about it a little bit later, but this was exactly what you go out and spend $185 million on a pitcher for games like this. The Rangers winning the World Series without this guy is truly miraculous. I mean, he is just so darn good. This is something that Rangers team didn't have in 2023, was this incredible staff. And it's not just Jacob deGrom. I mean, still, even with this incredible start, and now he's got a 2.29 ERA, which is the 3rd best on the team. Still the 3rd best on the team, even after 8 shutout innings. 3rd best. And you look at the pitching matchups in the rest of the series, the Rangers definitely have an edge. This was a great pitching performance by Hunter Brown, and the rest of the Astros staff, they've been pretty good. But Lance McCullers Jr., he has been, good to see him back and healthy. I mean, truly the game is better with him in it. Don't wish injuries on anybody, but it's been a little bit of a rough start for him coming back. Go look at the numbers in his last start, where I don't know if he recorded it out. I know he didn't make it out of the first inning, and he allowed something around 7 runs. It was a rough start for him. Ronel Blanco has not quite been as good as last year, and their Sunday starter against Jack Leiter is TBD at this point, which could be anybody. Who knows? Maybe it's Zach Greinke. Probably not. But still, at this point, the Rangers staff is just better. This was the only matchup where the Astros had a competitive maybe advantage. Brown had been pitching overall. His season numbers have been better than Jacob deGrom. They have been. I mean, there's been a few pitchers that have been better than Jacob deGrom, but him to this point, since he fixed that issue with the flying open, with not having his mechanics completely in lockstep, since those first 3 starts where he was a little shaky, just a little shaky, not bad, but just a little shaky, he has been sensational. But in big playoff games like this, in the game against the Tigers, where Jacob deGrom was incredible, 5 innings and 10 strikeouts, and that one, he was just untouchable against, again, a team that's definitely going to be in the playoffs in Detroit, and a team that's probably going to be in the playoffs in the Houston Astros. I mean, this felt like a playoff matchup, and the Rangers, we'll talk more about their offense in the second segment, but they did enough to pick up their pitchers in this one. Jacob deGrom has gotten a lot of run support in his last few starts, including, I believe, their 2 highest scoring outbursts of the season. They're 2 of the times where they have scored double digits. I believe both of those were with Jacob deGrom on the hill. But this is what you do it for. This is the type of pitching duel that, baseball writers absolutely love, because the game was done in a little over 2 hours. But this was just 2 exceptional pitchers at the peak of their powers. I really want to give some more props to Hunter Brown. I am an Astros hater through and through, but to get a rivalry, you need a good foil. You need a team that's good on the other side. And the pitching by Hunter Brown, especially in that 5th inning. In the 5th inning, he let a sinker that didn't quite sink right inside in the sweet spot of Adolis Garcia, who smacked that thing 112 miles an hour. And then go look at the pitches that he made to Marcus Semien: a 3-pitch strikeout, a foul ball, top corner of the zone, sinker, foul off strike 1, called strike 2, a 4-seam fastball just barely touching the edge of the zone, and then 97 miles an hour right at the letters, right over the plate. So Marcus Semien wasn't quite sure if it's going to be a strike or not. He swings through it. That's strike 3. Okay. Then you got Josh Jung coming up. Okay. He's been having some pretty good at-bats. He even gets himself into a 3-1 count, and he battles back, and Hunter Brown throws him a couple sinkers right at the bottom of the zone. The first one, I get the take on 3-1. Second one, a little bit higher, a little bit further away from him, still very much in the strike zone. And Josh Jung takes it, strike 3. And then Evan Carter, 97 miles an hour at the top of the zone. Pitch 1, pitch 2, changeup in the dirt. Pitch number 3, swinging strike, changeup, touching the outside corner. You could not make a more perfect pitch, more perfect pitch. And then in a pitcher's count of 1-2, 98 miles an hour, right at the top of the zone, at the letters. Would have been a called strike 3 if he took it. Had to swing, pops it up, gets himself out of danger, and that's it. It looked like the best chance for the Rangers to score. And then, well, that very next batter, we got to see the opposite field home run by Jake Burger, and Oppo Taco from the Burger Man. Why is that a big deal? Why is that a trend for the Rangers lately? We'll talk about it and more right after this. This show is brought to you by Gametime. If you decided at the last minute to head to the ball game with your friends or family, maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. And this series is one of those series where you definitely want to be in the stands. And that's exactly where Gametime comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without all that stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Gametime makes it possible. You know some Astros fans, you want to take them to a game so you can watch the happiness leave their eyes while the Rangers are beating the crap out of them. Gametime is the best place to get those tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Shout out to the everydayers for making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. I'll be back on Monday, but after every single game this weekend, this massive series, you're being like, where's Bryce this weekend? Well, Jeff Biggs is there with you with Locked On Rangers postcast coming to you live after every single game. Go check him out this weekend, covering every single one of these games. Hopefully a 4-game mop of the Houston Astros. It's possible. Maybe it's not likely, but I am certainly hoping for it. But if the Rangers keep hitting opposite field bombs like Jake Burger did in this one, then I think the Rangers might just take this series at least 3 out of 4 games, maybe all 4 games, and extend their season-long winning streak. But this Oppo Taco by Burger, not a good pitch that he hit, but he hit it. He hit the absolute crap out of it. A cutter right down the middle of the plate, 108 miles an hour to the opposite field. There are not a whole lot of guys that have the kind of opposite field power that Jake Burger does. There are not a lot of guys that have the power that Jake Burger does. I mean, his hard hit rate is the best on the team. When he makes contact, it is loud. His bat speed is exceptional. It's in the 93rd percentile right now. He is averaging a fast swing, more than a fast swing. A fast swing is 75 miles an hour bat speed. Right now, he's averaging 75.5 miles an hour of bat speed. That's why he can get to fastballs. That's why he is such a good fastball hitter. Because his bat speed is so fast, he has more time to make a swing decision. He can see a fastball and say, oh, that's a fastball. Let me crush this thing. Or let me see if this breaking ball is going to stay in the zone or not. And he can wait and wait and wait on it. Thankfully, he's been making better swing decisions as of late. But one of the things, about to say Donnie Ecker, I'm wondering where Donnie Ecker will end up because he is a good hitting coach. It just wasn't the right fit for the Rangers. But with this new hitting coach, Brett Boone, he has been talking about going to the opposite field with Jake Burger. He is a strong guy. It takes a strong hitter to go to the opposite field with power. And the Rangers have some strong hitters. Adolis Garcia, whenever he's going right, he is hitting the ball to the opposite field with authority. Josh Jung is one of those guys who's got a lot of raw power. A couple of his home runs this home run barrage that he's had in the last week or so have been to the opposite field. They have been some absolute missiles. Same with Wyatt Langford. He also had an oppo shot against the Rockies. I mean, this is a team that has elite power from guys like Jock Peterson. When he's right, he is going the opposite field. We haven't really seen him driving the ball with authority just yet. He's been having better plate appearances, been getting on base more, still not quite that hot streak that I know will come for him. Josh Smith is not a guy with elite power, but he's able to use all fields. He is able to hit all types of different pitches. But Jake Burger specifically, being able to go to the opposite field, I mean, he has been so much better in his call up to the big leagues in the last, a week or so since he got sent back down to the minors. He has just been feeling a whole lot better. He's been having better quality at bats. He has raised his WAR from negative, I believe, 4 or so. He's at negative 0.4 right now. The batting average is right now the Texas area code. In the last 7 days, the last 4 games since he's been called up, he's got a home run, he's got a double, he's got 3 RBIs, 3 strikeouts to 2 walks, hitting .417 on base of 500, slugging .750. That is a 1250 OPS in those 4 games. Again, a small sample size, but him having a multi-hit day against Hunter Brown, the way he was pitching, he had 2 of the Rangers' 3 hits on the day. That is a great sign. Jake Burger probably won't be hitting 8th in this batting order for long. I am wondering when we will start to see Marcus Semien dropped even further in this lineup. I know he's had some good at-bats with runners in scoring position. I know he has gotten a little unlucky. You look at his expected stats versus his actual stats. I know it's overall been not great, but Marcus Semien has been a little unlucky. He has also lost a little bit of bat speed, but I think that Jake Burger just... It's funny, the second you say that about anybody in this line, this is such a deep lineup. I mean, Marcus Semien is still a guy who has finished top 3 in MVP voting 3 times in the last 6 years. Half of the last 6 years, he has been a top 3 MVP finisher, including a 7-win season not too long ago. I mean, he is a guy who I think will turn on, will be better than this, but maybe we're starting to see the decline from Semien. But everybody in this lineup has had some incredible at-bats, has been a very good hitter at points in their career. Jonah Heim hitting 9th in this one. I mean, he has been at points the Rangers' hottest hitter this season. He is a former All-Star. Evan Carter, a guy who was a top 5 prospect universally in all of baseball before last season. He is hitting 7th in this lineup. And Berger, a guy who's averaged 30 bombs the last 2 years, is hitting 8th in this order. No matter where you stack it, there's going to be some talented hitters hitting in the bottom third of this order. But seeing this team be able to use the opposite field a little bit more frequently, seeing this team just be able to have better at-bats. And sometimes you're going to have to figure out how to hit the best pitchers on earth, especially in the postseason. That's where this team needs to be a little bit better. That's where I was very encouraged in that game against the Tigers, in those games against the Tigers where the offense was able to get to a very, very good Tigers pitching staff, because this team wants to be in the postseason. I think this is a postseason team. The pitching staff is more than good enough to carry this team to a World Series, but the bats will have to step up. And occasionally you're going to have to figure out how to hit the best pitchers on the planet when they're on their stuff. And sometimes one run isn't going to be good enough. Sometimes Jacob deGrom isn't going to be able to get out of those situations like he did. I mean, the Astros had some base runners. They had 7 runners left on base in this game. 6 of those were attributed to Jacob deGrom. They were 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position because, man, he really, really dialed it up when those runners were in scoring position. And he was also helped out a little bit by his defense. Some great outfield defense by the Texas Rangers, including a couple of fantastic plays by Adolis Garcia. Seeing him back to being an elite defender in right field, that makes me way less worried about, his offensive struggles. You look at the underlying data for his offensive numbers. I mean, he's still hitting the ball incredibly hard. His expected slugging percentage is 83 points above where his actual slugging percentage is right now. He's hitting the crap out of the baseball. And you look at him defensively, he's outs above average. He's 3 outs above average. That's the 92nd percentile. His arm strength still up there in the top 10% of baseball. The throws have been not quite as good, but you look at the athleticism, the speed out there, the reads that he's getting. I mean, that ball that he robbed in right field, I mean, that leadoff would have been near double that Adolis Garcia made a great play on. And then the very next play, a ball over 105 miles an hour off the bat that was just hit right at him. He plays it perfectly out there. And then maybe the best defensive play of the night, a perfect jump by Evan Carter on that leadoff line out by Jake Myers in the 5th inning. It was an incredibly hard hit ball, 105 miles an hour off the bat. It was a 4-seam fastball that was just right down the middle. And it should have been, by all metrics, a double in the gap. only had somehow a 550 expected batting average. I don't know how that was the case, but a perfect jump by Evan Carter out there in center field and extending every single bit of his reach at 6'3" and however long his arms are to just snag that ball right before it got past the tip of his glove and rolled to the wall for extra bases. That would have been a double for sure. And then the single that Altuve had later on in the inning would have been an RBI single. But Evan Carter going out there and making great plays in center field, that's why the Rangers decided to move on from Leody Taveras, because Leody probably could have made that play, but there have been so many other routine misplays that Leody had that we haven't seen from Evan Carter. The occasional great play in the outfield defense by Evan Carter against the Houston Astros, specifically in those big games. It is just another reason why the Rangers are so happy to have Evan Carter back on this team. The quality of his bats has been pretty solid. A tough day at the office against Hunter Brown, but again, a tough day at the office for literally everybody facing Hunter Brown because he is an incredible pitcher. But the Rangers did enough. The offense did enough in this one, and hopefully can get some spark in their bats from a Lance McCullers Jr. who has not been quite right. Hoping he can have at least one more, maybe several more games where he is not quite right just yet, and the Rangers can jump all over him and get the second win of this series in this rivalry game that felt like a rivalry game, that felt like a playoff game. We talk a little bit about this rivalry and the Rangers calling up Cole Winn, why they did it right after this. This show is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances. FanDuel makes it so easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have got so many ways to play smart and play big. Right now, the Rangers, let's look at their World Series odds for 2025 right now. They are behind the Boston Red Sox, ahead of the Houston Astros. Rangers at plus 2,400, Astros at plus 2,500. Look at the AL West right now. The Mariners are favorites at plus 140, Rangers plus 200, and the Astros at plus 230. Rangers are not far behind in the AL West. They are now in second place, 23 and 21. They are just 2 games behind in the loss column, tied in the win column with the Mariners. 1 game behind. So if the Mariners lose tonight and the Rangers win tonight, then the Rangers might be alone in first place by the end of this weekend in the AOS. So if you're new to FanDuel, now's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Now, the Rangers and the Astros, this is a rivalry for the ages. We are now 9 years behind. I forgot to mention on yesterday's show that it was the anniversary of the punch by Rougned Odor. Of course, that was on the first day of that rivalry game. And I kind of forgot that Kevin Pillar was on that team, a member of the current Texas Rangers. I forgot that anybody involved in that brawl was honestly still even in the league. It has just been so long. Seeing Elvis now on the broadcast and retired from baseball, Rougned Odor is, I don't know exactly where. I don't think he's anywhere in Major League Baseball or even minor league baseball this season, last I checked, but it has been, so long since that moment. But that was a great rivalry that is now no longer a rivalry with the Texas Rangers. I mean, I don't feel any ill will towards Vladimir Guerrero Jr. There haven't been those big moments. The Blue Jays honestly just haven't been relevant, so I don't feel like that's a particularly big moment. There haven't been any really iconic series outside of that series against the Astros. I don't think the Diamondbacks are really a rivalry. I think that they're annoyed or very frustrated that the Rangers won that World Series in 2023, but it wasn't particularly close. But that series against the Astros, this is one of the best rivalries in baseball right now. And the Astros feel like they're on the downslope. It really does. I've said that a lot over the last few years. More hopeful. This year feels more possible, even with them trading away Kyle Tucker, letting Alex Bregman walk, both of them 2 of the best players in baseball so far this season, but they still got quite a bit from it. We didn't see Cam Smith in this game. He has been fine for a rookie out there playing right field. He's been pretty bad defensively. Of course, the one good play in the outfield that Jose Altuve makes is to rob the Rangers of what should have been an extra base hit. But the Astros, they are just starting to thin out. The depth in their rotation hasn't quite been there because you look behind Hunter Brown in this rotation. Framber Valdez has a 3.5 ERA. Ronald Blanco, his ERA is north of 4. Hayden Wisniewski, who is part of the return in the Kyle Tucker trade, he's got a 4.5 ERA in 6 starts. Ryan Gusto, who's started 5 games for them, he's got a 4.8 ERA. Like it's not been great. And Lance McCullers Jr. in 4 innings in his 2 starts has a 15.75 ERA. Maybe the Rangers can make that higher. Maybe they can get him out before he gets a single out in this game and drive in, 5-6 runs. Do like they did to start the final game of this series against the Rockies. Of just have the first 6 batters all reach base. Maybe all of them can score as well. Maybe 6 straight solo home runs. That'd be fun. Any way to beat the Astros is honestly fun. But this is just such a fun rivalry. It is so good for baseball. It is honestly kind of wild that the Rangers and the Astros were in 2 different divisions because, Houston and DFW, Arlington, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. It is just such a good rivalry. There have been so many good rivalry moments between these 2 cities, mostly just between the Rockets and the Dallas Mavericks. There haven't been too many iconic playoff series between the Rockets and Mavericks. Heck, I don't know if they've actually had a playoff series where the 2 have faced off. There's been some iconic moments for sure. The Halaluka moment early on in his rookie career. Rookie year where Luka just went off against the Rockets, and that series in 2023, the ALCS, the Silver Boot ALCS, that was one of the best playoff series we've seen of all time. Now, the Game 7 wasn't as fun for the neutrals, but for me personally, who was there, it was absolutely glorious. But these 2 teams, they haven't really overlapped in terms of winning at the same time. I mean, last year the Astros won the AL West again. The Rangers were mediocre. It was not a whole lot of fireworks after that 2023 ALCS. I thought the Rangers would be better last year, and they weren't. And a rivalry only works when both teams are good, because when the Astros first came over, this was not a rivalry. This was a meh. The only rival part of it, the only, part of it that the Astros really played was breaking up a perfect game by Yu Darvish and Marwin Gonzalez's RBI, or just single, not RBI single, his single between Yu Darvish's legs on Game 2 of the season in, I believe that was 2013. One of the best seasons by any Texas Rangers pitcher was that 2013 season by Yu Darvish, where he was absolutely incredible. But when the Rangers have been great with the Astros in the division, the Astros have been terrible. When the Astros have been great, the Rangers have been terrible. And 2023, outside of 2015 and 16, there was a little bit of spice there. It wasn't nearly to the degree of the 2023 season, because it wasn't just in the postseason. It was the regular season too. There were some really spicy moments when Adolis Garcia hit the absolute tarnation out of a baseball, that grand slam onto the train tracks, and Martin Maldonado had to have some words and say, hey, I didn't like how much better you are as a baseball player than me, so I'm going to be a fake tough guy and get in your face and get you thrown out of this game because you're actually a good player. And even if it gets me, a bad player, thrown out, it doesn't really matter. I mean, that whole season series was incredibly spicy, culminating in some iconic moments both ways in that 2023 ALCS. I mean, the Game 5, that was an iconic game. Oh, the most heartbreaking game I have ever watched in the moment, more so for me than that 2011 Game 6. Yes, we all know, or really any of those World Series games in World Series in 2011. What am I talking about? World Series Game 6. You know what I meant. You know the sentiment behind what I meant. But those moments, the homer by Adolis Garcia, the dust up in Game 5, and then the Jose Altuve homer that just broke my heart. Probably broke your heart if you're listening to this and you're a Rangers fan, or maybe you're an Astros fan listening to this because you like pain for some reason. Hi, welcome. Glad to have you. But then the Game 6, that was a back and forth battle, capped off by an iconic moment from Adolis Garcia, a grand slam after 4 straight strikeouts. That was a gorgeous moment. And then a Game 7 butt whooping by the Rangers with incredible moments yet again by Adolis Garcia. Adolis Garcia is absolutely jazzed up to hit against the Houston Astros. He hates the Houston Astros. These 2 teams do not like each other at all. And I know it killed Jacob deGrom to have to watch from the sidelines in 2023. He was out for the season before he was able to face off against the Astros. This is the first time he ever faced off against the Astros. And in a game like this, in a game with postseason implications. Yes, it was May 15th. This will be May 15th through May 19th. We're not even at Memorial Day just yet. But these games matter. Every single game matters in this season series. It doesn't matter if it's game 1, game 87, game 112, or game 162. They all count the freaking same. And we know how close this division is going to be. Right now, the Astros have been, on fire as of late. They started off terrible yet again, but this is a really, really good team. This is a well-constructed team. This is a team that has been the cream of the crop, the team to beat in the AL West. The Rangers still didn't win that AL West title in 2023. They didn't win it. They won the World Series. They won the ALCS. They won the things that actually matter, but it still sticks in their craw that they did not win that AL West title. And to win the AL West title, you got to win AL West games. The Rangers haven't done a great job of that. They swept the Angels the one time they faced them, but they have been bad against the A's. They have been terrible against the Mariners. And those are two teams that are right in the thick of it. I mean, the A's are still above 500. Everybody besides the Angels in this division is above 500. This is a very, very good division in a season where I didn't think it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a 3-horse race between 3 mediocre teams. And right now, the Rangers look like a pretty darn good team. They are putting a whooping on good teams. They did that this series against Detroit. They have been looking a whole lot better. They finished their business. They handled their business against the Rockies, and they won all 3. One of them was a 1-1 win. Doesn't matter. Wins are the only thing that matters at this point in the season, at any point in the season. If you have the ambition to win the AL West, you got to win every single game. Oh, the Astros are down without Yordan Alvarez. Too bad. Oh, they've had some pitching injuries. Too bad. The Rangers have had some hitting injuries too. I think Yordan Alvarez is supposed to come back at some point in this series. So the Rangers have got to take as many games as they can, step on them while they're down and while you are clawing yourself out of a hole that you put yourself into early on this season. This was such a fun game, hoping that not every single game in this series is a 1-0 win for the Rangers. But hey, if it takes 1-0 to get the job done, a win is a win. And this one was an absolute delight and a reminder that, hey, Jacob deGrom is still the baddest man on the planet. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you all so much for listening and subscribing. And until next time, don't forget to enjoy baseball.